Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that were in play today. Yeah, the markets got whipsawed there when the Fed minutes were released. Right before the markets were rallying, they took off temporarily and then had the big head fake, followed by a steep decline. Well, the stocks that I'm going to show you here, most of them are penny stocks. They were all closed fairly strong on the day. They were all up on the day, and they all made nice moves. And so, yeah, first up, I'm going to show you ANTH. Okay, so check it out. It came down and it had a big gap up open today. And so it ended up running all the way up to that 300-day simple moving average resistance zone up there at 291, and it pulled back. It hit resistance from over here in May, this 250 resistance zone. That's going to be the key level to break. If you see it above 250 tomorrow, then 291 is going to be the big level to hit and close above. If it fails to break 251, you want to see the high close from November hold. That's this 225 support zone. A drop below 225 would get the candles working back into the bands, and then you'd want to see EMA 4 at $2 hold. Huge volume spike today, so really nice move. It just has to break that 250 resistance level. Okay, let's look at OREX. Very nice move today. Very sweet follow through. Congrats to everybody that caught yesterday's video. RSI is at 60, so it still has some more room to run. Nice crossover on ADX. We posted the video yesterday on the bounce. It closed yesterday above EMAs 4, 8, and 13. EMA 4 had been major resistance. That's the pink line during the downtrend. As you can see here, this has been on a multi-month pullback, and then today there was really nice follow through. It closed above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line at $1.01, and then also above the 50-day simple moving average at 13. So the close above the green line was the first close above the 50-day simple moving average since back here in June. So notice back in June when it got above that level, it failed to hold and it pulled back. So what you want to see now is the share price stay above 113. If it holds, it has to bust through the upper Bollinger Band, and then the 100-day simple moving average at 145 will be the next target. There is going to be resistance at this 130 resistance zone. That was the top of this previous channel. As you can see, it's back in this channel from December and January, and it has to bust through 130 to hit 145. If it drops below 113, you could see that middle Bollinger Band tested. The one red flag on the chart is the gap between low of day or high of day yesterday and low of day today. There's a very small gap. If the share price drops below the 50-day simple moving average, it could pull back and fill that gap. Okay, let's look at LGCY. Closed up 12% today, nearly 13%. You know, RSI is getting a little frothy there at 77. As you can see, it's hitting up here in the overbought zone. Same thing with Fasto up here. But it did break out. It had a nice follow through. We posted an alert yesterday that it was breaking high close horizontal resistance. The close above the closing price here on the 26th of January was the key level to break, and that close above it yesterday signaled more upside potential. So nice follow through today. It's always nice when they follow through. The candles are riding EMA 4 support higher. You want to see that level hold. A close below EMA 4 would signal it's cooling down. On a pullback, as long as this 250 level turns into support, that would be a signal that wants to head to that next level. Notice the big volume spike today. When a stock's breaking out on the daily chart, we like to look at the weekly chart to find resistance. And as you can see here, it's breaking out above high close resistance from January. That's the top of this white candle. And then it's also breaking out above high close resistance from January of 2017. So that's a really big move. Keep in mind, this week's candle will not set until the closing bell on Friday. So a weekly close above 260 would be very bullish. Now the next key level to break is the closing price from back here in April of 2016. And so that's lining up with about 310. So a weekly close above 310 would be very bullish. Okay, let's look at SDRL. Closed up 8.5% today. RSI is at 62. Fasto at 97. You can see a breakout here on plus DI. And so, yeah, this was another one that we alerted yesterday. And the alert yesterday was that it had made a bullish close above the middle Bollinger Band, which is the 20-day simple moving average, and the 50-day simple moving average, currently at 26. And so when a stock has been trading below the 50-day simple moving average for an extended period of time, and it finally closes above, many times it leads to more upside potential. And notice how back here in the first week of June or January, it closed above the 50-day simple moving average, but it hit the 100-day simple moving average. And notice how all these candles failed to get back above the green line. Well, it wasn't until yesterday that it finally closed back above. So after many weeks, that close above was your signal. Okay, it's finally ready to go. And today was the payoff. So congrats to everybody that loaded yesterday on the alert. And then today it closed above the next key level. That's the 100-day simple moving average at 29. Notice that there's this channel here, and so the top of the channel is also lining up with 29, and so it closed just above both levels. So above 29 would be bullish, and that would put the 200-day simple moving average on deck. That's also lining up with this previous high. So 34 cents. So if it can stay above 29, 34 will be the target. If it drops below 29, that'll signal consolidation, and it would likely pull back to test that 50-day simple moving average at 26. It needs to hold the 50-day simple moving average in the middle Bollinger Band to keep the uptrend going. Okay, now let's look at Fate. Okay, very nice move here. This has been on a multi-day run, closed up 15% today. You know, RSI is up here at 75. You know, Fasto's at 93. So it's you know, it's pushing hard here. You had that nice crossover on 80X, and notice how it's on this 6-day run. Well, today it closed above high close horizontal resistance, the closing price on January 29th. That was signaling more upside potential. You notice how it was had this sideways channel going here, and so the breakout of the top of the channel is signaling that it wants to head higher. Okay, as long as the EMA 4 at 943 holds, the uptrend is still strong. On a pullback, you want to see 950 turn into support. A drop below 950 would put it back in the channel. If 950 holds, it signals it wants to keep pushing. Now, when a stock's breaking out, we like to look at longer time frames. Instead of using a weekly chart, this time I used a monthly chart to show resistance, and so it smooths out the data. You know, the weekly chart smooths out the data from the daily chart, and then the monthly chart smooths out the data from the weekly chart. It makes it easier to read. And so, yeah, as you can see here on the this is the weekly chart. We have many more candles. When you go out to a monthly chart, it smooths it out. Each candle represents 1 month of trading. Okay, so 1 whole month for each candle. This month's candle will not set until the closing bell on the last trading day of this month, the last trading day of February. And so, you know, it has to stay above this high close level right here. This is the key level to stay above. And if it can, that'll signal it wants to head higher, above $10. You know, a monthly close above the all-time, this is the all-time high close for the stock back in 2014. That would be very bullish. And then you'd be looking at the all-time high close level, or the all-time high at 1350 is the next target. So a monthly close above this March 2014 closing price would be very, very bullish. Okay, let's look at VYGR. You know, and this has you know, this filled the jar. It went all the way down and came all the way back up. So now the jar is filled. This move is complete, and it's either going to break out to the next level or it will double top at this level. Okay, look at VYGR. Okay, it has a very similar pattern to FATE. It's breaking out higher. RSI is above 70. Fasto's above 80. You know, you have the big breakout on plus DI here. Notice how it has multiple white candles in a row. So this thing is really pushing. You know, it's up 8 days in a row. So it has 8 white candles in a row with a big gap here. You know, it broke out yesterday above high close horizontal resistance. That was the closing price on the 29th, and that signaled more upside potential. And then yeah, and then now it's oh geez, I was trying to get this thing going. Okay, yeah, and so that really got it going. As you can see here, it had this sideways channel thing going, and then it bam broke out higher, and so now today's candle pushed well above that upper Bollinger Band. You want to see this 22.3, you know, this 2250 23 level turn into support on a pullback, and you want to see the EMA 4 at 2350 remain support. That would signal the chart's still super strong. You know, when you get this many green candles in a row, you have to be on the lookout for a red one. Pushing through the upper Bollinger Band is a reason to, you know, take caution. Now, as you can see here on the weekly chart for VYGR, you know, it started trading back here in 2015, and it made an all-time high close back in November of 2015, and that's right around just above 29. And so right now it's heading to test that level. So look for resistance between 29 and 30. If it hits that level and fails to close above for the week, now keep in mind this week's candle will not set until the closing bell this week, then that would signal a temporary top. Just like FATE, it came down and went back up, so it's filled the jar. You know, it's completed this big cycle, so it's either going to double top at 29 or it's going to break out above above 29 and head to the next level. If it does double top, look for the candles to work back into the bands. The upper Bollinger Band's at 25, 23, and then you have EMA 4 way down here at 22. It is breaking out above the high close horizontal resistance level, which is at 23 here. So that's the high close from down here in October. That would be a big level to see turn into support. You also have a breakout here above this other closing price here from November of 2015, and so that's another key level to hold around 26.50. Okay, AKER made a very sweet move today, closed up 21%. RSI and Fasto are both in the bull zone with room to run. Yeah, this stock has a very nice uptrend going. The uptrend started back here on the close on the 16th above that middle Bollinger Band, and so it's been heading higher ever since. And so notice how it had this sideways channel going here, and or it has a sideways channel going. And so today it hit the top of the channel, and so it needs to break the top of the channel, which is the closing price here on February 3rd at 50 cents, and that gold line, which is the 100-day simple moving average at 51. If it can close above both those levels, that'll signal that it wants to head higher, and then we'll be looking at the 200-day simple moving average at 84. If it fails to break 51, that will signal a temporary top, and then it would signal just more consolidation. It has to be above 51 to head higher. Notice that it had a nice volume spike today. Okay, take a look at PLUG. Closed up 12% today. RSI is trying to heat up. It closed above 51. You want to see it stay above 51. Check out ADX with plus DI, minus DI pinched. If the green line crosses the red line to the upside, that'll be a signal the bulls are taking control. There was a nice close today above the middle Bollinger Band. As you can see here, it had tight Bollinger Bands over here. The upper Bollinger Band and lower Bollinger Band were super tight in this channel, and then it broke out to the downside. It found support down here in the 150s. It's been having a hard time with this blue line, which is the 300-day simple moving average at 199. It closed just above today. So it has to stay above $2 to head higher. So above $2 would be bullish, and then you're looking at the 50-day simple moving average at 218 is the next key level to break. It's been big resistance. A close above would be really bullish. There's the 200 and 100-day simple moving average just above. Once above 240, that would be a signal that it's really ready to head higher. There's going to be a lot of resistance in this zone, so the 200-day simple moving average is going to be tough to break because it's lined up at the bottom of this previous channel. Okay, look at TRXC here. Okay, so this chart's heating up as well. This is another one that we alerted yesterday, and then it had follow through today. And so yeah, you've got the RSI there now closed above 50. Fastos, in the bull zone. You have the crossover on ADX with the plus DI crossing the plus DI crossing minus DI and ADX to the upside. And so yesterday it had the nice bounce and close above EMAs 4 and 8 and 13. It closed above the pink, lime, and orange lines, and that was a signal it was heating up after dropping down and finding support on the 300-day simple moving average, the blue and the red lines. Yesterday's close was a signal, okay, yeah, keep an eye on this thing. It could head higher, and then today it had the nice follow through, and so it closed above the dotted purple line. That's the middle Bollinger Band at 157. If that level holds, a new uptrend should begin. Now keep in mind, there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band on this candle, and then it closed below. It closed above the middle Bollinger Band on this white candle, and then a red candle formed. Same thing with these candles: white candle above, red candle, white candle above, red candle. So the pattern is for a red candle to form tomorrow. If a white candle forms, that would be a bullish change in trend. So you have to keep an eye out for a red candle, since that's been the pattern. As long as the middle Bollinger Band holds, the uptrend should continue, and then you're looking at the 50-day simple moving average at 184 is the next target. Now if it drops below 155, that'll signal it's not ready to go and more consolidation. Okay, now look at AMPE. This stock had a nice bounce today, but it's still in a downtrend. As you can see here, it was in this channel, and it broke down out of the channel. Yeah, it was so it had a breakout. It was trading in the sideways channel. It broke out, and then bam, they pulled. Right when it looked like it was getting ready to head higher, they dropped the floor, similar to back here in December when it was breaking out. But different move though. This is really two strong candles. Similar how it had a strong pullback here. Notice how it's hitting the same support level as it did back here in the January pullback. It's back in the previous sideways channel. Now the bearish development was the move back below the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average. It needs to get back above the green line and the dotted purple line. Once back above $3, that'll signal that it wants to head higher. If the $3 resistance zone stays resistance, then that could signal the possible start of a new downtrend. Now if this support level breaks here, this 250 support level, that's going to be a red flag. You know, this is a big support level. It's held multiple times now. And so if 250 breaks, you could see a drop down to that 100-day simple moving average at $2. Okay, let's look at AMRS to finish up with. Closed up 6% today. It had a bullish close today above the 300-day simple moving average. That's the blue line. You know, it had been trading in a sideways channel as well. You know, it'd been let's see here, we can just kind of tighten this up a little bit, but yeah, it'd been in the sideways channel, and it finally broke out higher. So you can see the sideways channel. It broke out higher back here on the 13th, and then check out the blue line. It closed above the blue line, which is the 300-day simple moving average today at 534. That's the key level to hold. You know, getting above the top of the channel this last week was a signal it could break out higher, and then it finally made that move today. So as long as it stays above the 300-day simple moving average, that signals that it wants to keep pushing higher. If it drops below, that would signal consolidation. EMA4 is currently at 537. Now check out the weekly chart. You know, like I said, when the stock's breaking out on the daily chart, we like to look at the weekly chart to find resistance. And as you can see here, it's hitting the next key resistance level. There's a gap over here between low of day on this candle and high of day of this candle. You know, each candle is 1 week of trading here, and so it's currently, after dropping down, finding support in August and working its way back up, it's back up to the bottom of the gap resistance level. The bottom of the gap is always a huge level to break. So if it fails to break this level, this will signal a temporary top. You'll know if it's a temporary top by whether or not this pink line holds. It's currently at 523. You know, it's been closing above EMA4 ever since December here. The third week of December, after being below, it closed above, and it's been holding this whole time. So it would be a bearish change in trend if it closed below. It would signal it's cooling down. If it closes above this bottom of the gap for the week, then that would put the 100-day simple moving average at $7 and the top of the gap up here at $8 on deck. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please come check out our chat. You know, we teach during the day, post lots of plays, lots of technical analysis. So yeah, come join the fun. Thank you. I'll post the link below the video.